Hola, senors and senoritas. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to True Footy Live. I am tired today. Yesterday was a big day. Thank you for joining in the stream both yesterday and today. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again. I am just so tired. I did 4 videos yesterday. Then I went to the gym. Tried to get an early night. And then woke up dead today. I woke up dead. Is that from Scary Movie? But it's good to be here. So thank you. I already see videos crime spree in the chat. Zector, hello, and Martin Reid. Wonder what West Coast is going to do with the opening pick. I actually don't know, because that's the downside of being here in the UK. I've been asleep. So if there's been anything pop up, I have not seen it. And I've just opened up Big Footy in the background to see if I can try and catch some sort of rumour. Thank you, Toxplicity. Cheers, mate. G'day, Elaine. And SFP14, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. If you guys could get in early and like the stream, it would be much appreciated. Just because it helps the algorithm. So once again, I'm watching Toomey, etc. Mark Lancaster says Travis first. Travis. Oh, it's the first pick in. Fuck. Is it? Has the draft already started? They're talking about Archie Roberts. I don't know if I just missed it. I need to focus now. Interesting. No. They are talking about Archie Roberts. I thought the pick had started, and I was like, what? So Archie Roberts is a contender. Cal Toomey also reckons Archer Reid. That would be interesting. Wouldn't mind that. I want a tall. I think a tall's got to go. I think we need at least one key back. So if we do go key forward with this pick, I think the next one needs to be a key back, to be honest. G'day, Rogies in the chat. Toxplicity. L's Adventure Vlogs. Got a few messages coming through. If Port take 3 picks, who do you think you'll take? Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure the pick hasn't started. It should start like 1:15, I would have thought. I'll talk about Port in one sec, because that's coming up a little bit later in the draft. The Sydney Swans, I think, will be around the mark for top 4 next year. Rogies in the chat, and glad he doesn't have to wait that long. Yeah, same, to be honest. I mean, we got in nice and early yesterday, and then we were done for the day, so we're going to be a little bit more active today. Big Boy wants Logan Morris. Yeah, I think that's a shout. He's probably within the range. He could go earlier than that. SFP wants George Stevens or Luau. That's who I had, I think, in the mock draft I did. I did a day 2 mock draft, for anyone wondering. Rogie wants Reid or Murphy. If you get one of those two, that'd be a great selection for you guys, I think. Lewis wants Harvey Johnston. Yeah, Harvey Johnston should get picked up tonight. Not too sure where. I haven't researched too much of Harvey, to be honest. I just know that he's a forward mid. I got a funny feeling we're going to take Cooper Simpson. Cooper Stevens is the Hawthorn player. Luke Lloyd should get picked tonight at some point. I wouldn't necessarily say a range. I think fairly soon is his predicted range, but it's really hard at this point of the draft to like really get an accurate look at it. G'day Hunsey, by the way. Liam Sarong is in the draft pool. You're all over your Sarongs, aren't you? You got a Jai Sarong there. Lewis says Harvey Johnston goes to my school. There you go. Good luck to him, mate. I've not even heard of a Liam Sarong, so I don't know how realistic it is he gets drafted. Man, I've already smashed most of this coffee, and I've just walked back from Greg's. Greg's is like one of my favourite things about the UK. You get coffee for the equivalent of $3.80, which is real cheap. Are there rules around taking a minimum amount of picks? Yeah, 3, but you can, I think, use rookie elevations instead. Whether that really happens to Port here, I'm not too sure, because I don't know if they relaxed the rules because of COVID. Because in COVID times, they dropped the list from 38 to 36, And therefore, I think they may have reduced that minimum pick selection rule, because I feel like I've seen heaps of clubs just take 2. I don't think I've ever seen just one take just 1, though, in Port Adelaide. That might be the first time. Should North have traded a future first pick for Curtin? Maybe. I mean, West Coast offered it, and I supported that. Curtin, as well as another key back, would have been a good move. Yeah. Adelaide did very well out of that trade, I'd say. Coop Stevens is a bloody good VFL mid. Yeah, that's true. He's been delisted and re-rookied now, hey? Or he's going to be re-rookied, along with Winger. That's true. Rogie says Collingwood will probably just take the 2 picks too. Yeah. West Coast has definitely just taken 2 picks in both 2019 and 2020. So, mind you, 2019 is before COVID, so I don't exactly know where that rule sits. There's a lot of like vague little rules that sort of just pass through. I think it's evidently clear you only need to take... no club's never taken a draft pick. Like gone through an entire draft without picking. So there must be at least 1. But yeah, there's plenty of examples of just 2. I wonder when we're going to get to full list sizes again. That would be nice. Especially when you're West Coast, when you're down to your last 23 players. It's a good question, Ayasha. Like, I was just thinking that. I thought it would happen by now. Especially with the CBA and bigger contracts now. List sizes should get bigger. And they should phase them. You know, maybe it's 30. So at the moment, it's 36 on the main list and a maximum of 6 on the rookie list. But you can flex that, so it's like 39 and 5 or 37 and 5 and 38 and 4. But they should do it so that it just like bumps up by 1 each year for the next 2 years. Yeah, that's true, Hansi. 2 picks for Hawthorn in 2018, Lewis and Morrison. Good picks too. Where are we at? Wouldn't mind a Zach Kostelski. Yeah, my dream scenario here is the Eagles pick like Cooper Simpson here, maybe. I don't know. I didn't even mention him in the video, but like what I mean is the guy that they want at this pick, and then at 39, Zach Kostelski's still there. That's like my ideal result, but I don't think that will happen. Oh, that's sick, Wordy. Did you mean you got to meet them, or he did? Congrats to Will Green as well. Port removed 9 players and picked up 4 so far. Not sure if we elevated Narkle or not. Yeah, fair enough. Toxicity. Yeah, everywhere I've seen has just have Port just taking 1 pick, but in theory, they can just take their picks at the back end there. But then they can just sign Cat B and like SSP players anyway. Kev's hoping for a key defender. Yeah. We thought that might happen at the first pick, but Demeter was there. Yeah, Rogie, I don't have particular feelings toward Archer Reid, but I do think a young key forward makes sense for us. So no, I won't call him. Oh, True Footy says, don't take Archer Reid. Okay, boys, let's change our draft plans. Yeah, I like Cal Toomey. I think Cal Toomey does a good job. I actually really do quite like this trio. I mean, I would be rather watching the actual draft, but Nat Edwards, Cal Toomey, and Beveridge, I like them. I think they're good at what they do. I was laughing yesterday how Nat Edwards kept trying to like fill the silences. But she did a pretty good job. Big Boy says, I won't be surprised if the Tigers finish bottom 4 next year, are ceiling bottom 4 to just making finals. Been through the lows and highs as a Tigers supporter since the early 2000s. Might need to rebuild. Yeah, I think that might be on the cards. I think that's a fairly fair assessment there, Big Boy Stromp. With Richmond, I just can't see them falling off to be bad enough to be like bottom 2, considering how bad North and West Coast are. But I see a future next year, and I said this going into 23, so I might just be talking shit, but I had a vision of going into like this year would be like North and West Coast really close the gap, but it might not be enough to actually avoid the bottom two because they still need to make up a lot of ground on the next worst team, which was Hawthorn. So we'd need someone to really fall through the earth, which I suppose is possible. Marek. Yeah, that's a good point. Marek is like a really good talent, I reckon. Whether he projects as a true key forward or more of a like third tall is the only question for me. And so Jack Williams could potentially be an important player. Like probably never a 50 goal forward, but he could be 30 goal and rocks. Like that would be outstanding. I'd be very happy with that. To support Allen, but we're in a position to roll the dice on a key forward, particularly a project one like Archer Reid. Collingwood top two, you'd think so. It's hard to see him not playing in a grand final next year, or at least a prelim. Richmond are in no man's land. A little bit. I think they know where they're at though, and I think it's just they've got no draft picks, like high ones this year. I think next year we'll see them really invest in the draft. Somehow. Whether they split picks next year. I think they probably, if they do get a top 5 pick, which I think is very possible, then they could just go the best available midfielder. Hunsey, with respect to Hawthorn, they're hard on the plot. Their improvement in the second half of the year from like round 10 onward was pretty compelling. I think I have them like generally competing for the 8, but probably just enough bad days to ensure they just miss out. That's kind of how I see Hawthorn. Yeah. Not that the final round of the season means everything, but I think that last performance against Fremantle kind of burns in the minds of just like what can happen to Hawthorn when they're not on. How far are we from the first pick? It's 8:12. Was it about 8:15 yesterday? The first selection? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just for fun, I'm going to try KO one more time. Just for fun. Thanks, Patrick. I actually don't know how to fix that. I wish I was a tech guru. But unfortunately, that's always been a problem on this stream. I can see. Bear with me. I don't even know if there is a setting on OBS to fix it. There probably is. But if you go to audio settings, there's nothing really obvious here. I don't really want to mess with it. Dusty going to Gold Coast, I would be shocked. I mean, maybe. I don't think they're in a position to give him a huge payday. So, for me, that's half the incentive gone. Thoughts on a top 6 Adelaide Crows? Yeah, I like that. I think they're probably still a little bit off, like, really having a team that can contend for, like, the premiership. I think maybe, like, a real primary mid-short. But, top 4 is conceivable. So they just need to close the gap between, how good they are at home in front of their home crowd to some of the performances away from home last year. If they just start improving that on its own, they'll get pretty close to the 4, I reckon. Young side with some organic improvement. They're just showing Ashton Moore getting drafted. West Coast are on the clock. G'day, Bomber Boy. Thanks, Toxplicity. Yep, there'll be wrap-up vids today. Appreciate it, mate. So I've got a funny feeling we're going to take Cooper Simpson with this pick. But I don't really have any idea. West Coast pick is in, not looking at the screen. Could be Zach Kostelski, could be Simpson. Could be Archer Reid. I bet it would be some random kid like Reece Torrent.
Well, luckily for everyone playing along at home, we have our, if this does drag out a little bit, we've still got our snack bowl here.
It's weird having like almost like a pick one, and I've just got no idea. I know who the kids are. I just had no inkling of who we're going to take here. There's no obvious pick without Collard. Who have we taken? Archer Reid! Wow, there you go. We've asked her to key forward. We love our Reids. That's funny. Can't complain. We probably needed a key forward. This is a good draft to add Torsey. Just going to watch a little bit of the highlights. I haven't really seen that much of him. I know a general profile with him. And I know he's athletic AF. So we got 2 Reids now, 2 Williams, 2 Edwards. Wow, there you go. Marek and Reid. So yeah, that's good. That's good. So if we can hopefully get Zach Kostelski at our third, then we've done absolutely tick the box of adding Tors in this draft. Rogie. That's funny. Good result. Not the result I even contemplated, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't think we would look at Archer Reid. But we've ticked a box. Reid's reproducing like rabbits, yeah. That's so funny. Good stuff. I'm going to get the draft tracker open. Spectacular. Oh, I thought you said spectacular key position. Speculative. Interesting. So yeah, we've probably potentially foiled Collingwood's plans there, or even a Brisbane. Probably other teams looking for key position players. Even Geelong, maybe. I have no idea, to be honest. But they obviously foregone Nate Caddy. PK wants another early pick, like a future second or third. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. I don't know who would trade with us. St Kilda already have a future second, I think. Or did they? Yeah, they got one. Mark Brandon Chopper. The reveal of a secret third Dacos brother. It sounds like the plot of Fantastic Beasts. A secret Dumbledore. God, that was a bad franchise. Or movie series, anyway. Could Ollie Murphy slide to our third pick? I think so. Like, I think I've been doing a little digging and, yeah, like, tested poorly and really slow, which is obviously scaring clubs off. Brisbane. Draft has started, Chris. The Eagles have taken their second pick in Archer Reid. We're now on pick 2 for the day. Schoenmaker? Logan Morris. Yeah, so that one was a little bit linked in the media. Or at least on Big Footy. Good result. Undersized key forward, 191 centimetres. Was Archer Reid Vic country? I've already forgotten. Good player, Logan Morris, by the looks of it. Thanks, brother. Thank you, Matthew McDonald. I know a few Matt McDonalds. Right, fully on the Ollie Murphy copium train. What do I think about Archer Reid? I don't have a huge opinion on him. He's like a speculative, tall, skinny, athletic, raw key forward. And I think we're in a good position to take one, in a sense. Like, it makes sense, and we're probably a key forward short. Maybe just like one prospect short, not like general depth. Jack Darling is 31. So, yeah, 31. I think it makes sense for our list needs. So overall, I'm fairly comfortable with it. Hansi reckons toe Giath? Can someone confirm it's toe? Like, I've always said two because it's just phonetically how I read it, but Kaltumi said toe Giath, and that sounds right, to be honest.
John's list is at a really interesting point, isn't it, Riley? How do you assess it at this point? Because
Harley Reid got any mates in the draft? Yeah, well, Damatir was one of them, and there was somebody else. Oh, I've forgotten. I read how he's got a very good friend as well. Angus, I think I'd still probably look at a key back, to be honest. It doesn't necessarily need to be our next pick, though. Zach Kostelski, if he's there, I'm probably taking next pick, and then go two smalls with the other picks, like Kay Delarue and Will Lawrence. Ideally, that's like an ideal. Yeah, Josh, in my Tau. Oh, Tau. So not toe, not two, Tau. There you go. Sorry, Josh, I was saying in my day 2 mock, I had him sliding another 40, but that was just more because I couldn't find a spot for him in the top 40, just because there's a lot of running defenders in this draft. Luam and Luau are still on the board. What do you think Daniel Curtin's ceiling is? It's a tough one. It's hard to project because you don't know what position he's going to play. Like, could he be like a Grant Birchall? That would be a pretty good result. But like a really tall, intercepting, strong, powerful one. I don't think he's going to be like a Bont-like midfielder, but maybe like a bit like Jordan Dawson. I see him best a little bit behind the ball in a bit of space, delivering the ball forward. I think Birchall's probably a good comparison. I would consider Joel Frazier, Nyasha. That's actually who I had in my mock. I had us taking Zach Kostelski first, not Archer Reid. And then I had Frazier at 40. I think that is actually a kind of a West Coast pick. I just think that's stylistically the sort of player we would take. Fremantle do have the few picks before us, so they might go Zach Kostelski. Mitch Edwards goes to the Cats. Good. Good for them, I mean.
he is a ruck and a really athletic player at that, Cal. Well, he's clearly not related to you then.
Yeah, can't complain with a Grant Birchall in draft. You'd be very happy with that. Mitch Edwards, good selection here, I think. I think he should have gone earlier. But he's pretty raw. And to be fair, like, we have seen an upsurge in quality rucks in this draft, in the back end. So obviously there's Ethan Reid, it's the best one. But then, like, Will Green's kind of shot up, and then a Taylor Goad in particular. So suddenly there's a few rucks to pick for. That's probably why he slid. I think Pommy will be sad about that. He wanted Mitch Edwards for Carlton's second pick, and we have St Kilda on the board here. This is where I had Ollie Murphy today, but I'm also a little bit worried about Ollie Murphy dropping further. 164 in the chat, guys. Thank you for being here. If you could like the stream, that'd be much appreciated. Sean says, what's your ideal result for West Coast next pick? I mean, I've got an open mind, so it's hard to pick a best case scenario, but I'm probably thinking Zach Kostelski But I'd be happy with Cooper Simpson, Joel Frazier, Will Lawrence. Those are 3 names that come to mind. I would have liked Mitch Edwards too, but he is now gone. Yeah, Conway and Edwards. They've drafted 2 rucks in the last couple of years. Interesting. Good for them to get some talls in this draft. O'Sullivan and Mitch Edwards, that makes sense. How far could Ollie Murphy slide? Well, that's a great question. Like, he's tested poorly, but surely the MVP for Vic Metro doesn't get undrafted, so he'll get picked up at some point. I feel like it could be this pick, but who knows? Are there any more Reids for West Coast? Well, we had Philip Reid and... Oh my God, there was just somebody in my head. Not Zach Reid, Nick Reid. We've had 2 previous Reids. Oh, Clay Hall's a decent shout if we want a pure midfielder. I feel like we might favour some outside class though, or outside game anyway. So that's why I mentioned Frazier, and that's why I mentioned Will Lawrence. And I really want Cade Delarue. I've really started to like him, but maybe with our last pick. Mackesy also won MVP for Vic Metro. That's true, but he did go pick 6. I didn't watch Mackesy closely enough to see like why he sort of struggled, but it could just have been like mental, you know. How do you feel about the Victorians having a go at West Coast, saying that he will leave after a few years? I think that's typical. It doesn't really matter. It's an unfortunate risk that we face in like all interstate. Well, actually, any club faces that risk. It's more true for probably interstate clubs because there's more Victorian kids proportionately. Mackesy attitude towards training was a big issue, says Josh. Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got, especially if he retired, right? He just felt like AFL wasn't for him, and that's understandable. He's a young kid. We got St Kilda's pick is in. They've gone Darcy Wilson, Luan Lamont, Angus Hasty. That's a little early, but I like the look of Hasty. Pretty aggressive sort of player. I had him going to West Coast several times in my mocks. I just felt like he was a West Coast pick, but I never this early. Yeah, he's got some real run and dash. I thought, a halfback was a chance for them. I thought either Tujiath or Luaman Luar were probably 2 of the higher rated ones. But they clearly went for the same type of player and rated Hasty better. Zizi is compared to Luke Jackson athletically. Wow. He's also only 17 still. He doesn't turn 18 for a few more weeks. So as far as physical development goes, in a good position there. And he's probably still growing. He'll probably easily get to 198. West Coast and Free are the only clubs that aren't majority Victorian players. Is that true? Is that actually like backed up by numbers? Like what about Port and Adelaide? Just curious. I can think of a lot of Vics on Adelaide's list. PK's wondering if the West Coast trade back in. Maybe. The question is how many clubs would be willing to trade with us. It's a shallow, short draft. So clubs might be just sticking to their own plans here. Like Carlton's only taken 2 picks and then... I think they're going to take 3 or 4. Maybe 3. But for them to trade out of this draft would probably, that would mess up their plans a little bit, you'd think. Carlton's pick is in. They were pretty quick on the board there, so they've got someone they like. Tau Giath, is an option. The one on the well, another option. A couple of players I just thought would have gone by now. There's also Ollie Murphy if they want to keep back. Don't take Zach Ostelski. There you go, Elite Redemption. I don't suppose you know where that video was. I'd be curious. Rogue Wright didn't have Billy Wilson on his draft board. Yeah, it's funny. So I had him on my Excel spreadsheet. I've got a list of names below, and I probably had like 10 players I wanted to fit in that couldn't quite fit in. So I had him undrafted as well, but I at least knew who he was. Would you consider Luau? Yeah, absolutely. If he's there at our next pick, we'd have to take him at a... Oh, you know what, though? I think our next pick is now at 40, which means the Bulldogs can match him as an NGA. I've seen more of Tojiath, and I like the look of him. Absolutely, I would. I think you'd add a little bit of something different to what we've drafted. Like, Bergil's a fast-running defender, but I think particularly Giath can probably intercept a bit better, probably bigger and stronger. How tall is Giath anyway? In my head, he's like 6'2", but I actually can't remember. I have it here. Tojiath is nearly 6'3", so he would add something different to us. But again, like I said, if our pick is number 40 on the dot, which I think it is, then we can't really consider these next generation players. Well, we can. It's just that we won't get them. Can't wait for Bevo to play Riley Sanders at fullback next year. Is that something he would do? I suppose you got Bailey Smith on the outer. That's true, actually. You know, with a player like Sanders, they're probably going to play him early. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with that midfield there. Footy A to Z. Ah, sick. What video is that? If you remember. It's okay if you don't. TJ and CJ duo would be cool. Where does Roberts go? He slid. He could go to West Coast next pick. Now that we've gone a tall. Wouldn't complain about that either. There's been a connection there. Jordan Croft could actually start his career as a defender over it. Which I'm sure he's stoked about. Because he's just got too many key forwards. Gonna have a little gander on Big Footy and see what the boys are saying. Ari Shalmay to West Coast. It's possible. We've been linked to him. I'd rather a more true key defender though. So someone a little bit taller and a bit faster. But I think if Roberts is there at our next pick, that's where we go. Do you think Sydney will take another pick? Yeah, they've got Cleary. I think they're waiting to see what's available. Sydney. They can decide. That's what they said before the draft. They're going to say 2, maybe 3, depending on what's available. So it's 50-50. Will North Melbourne use their last pick, and if so, what position? That's a good question. I think they probably will. I think they've got the list spots to do it. They can pretty much pick any position they want. I think their inside midfield is kind of sorted. I think I had them taking Phylactides because I just thought he was something different to what they would already have. But they could go so many different ways with that. They could still go for... They did highlight forward pressure as something they needed, so maybe a small forward. That's one thing they haven't picked in this year's draft. Freo trading up, are they? Oh, did that just happen? Freo traded up. Interesting. I wonder if this will be Zach Kostelski, or they might be trying to get Sean Manor because they think Geelong might go that way. Maybe. Oh, Cooper Simpson's a chance. Good shout. Yeah, I reckon Cooper Simpson.
Okay, we'll see what Fremantle done. So just tuning in to Draft Night Live
Pick is in.
The AFL alive that we've had Richmond who are on the clock for quite a while. They've just traded their pick with Fremantle, who clearly has a player in their sights they wanted to nab at this point. Laura Kane is just up there about.
This would be a good selection for him if they do take Cooper Simpson, I think.
To see what Fremantle have
Not really a positional need. There you go, Cooper Simpson.
selection, in fact, of the draft. They have decided
Good pick though. Exciting player.
just mentioned their midfielder.
Yeah, small midfielder. I'm messaging Joycey and Busher just to let them know I like that pick. Freo drafting a simp. Yeah, they had Josh Simpson a while ago. Football Fletch, yes, it is on. We're up to pick 36 now. Geelong are on the clock. Murphy is still on the board. Yeah, would Geelong go another Murphy, another key back? Probably not. They'd probably go a small. 35 for 38 and a future third. Cool. So, well, that means Zach Ostelski could slide to us. Archie Roberts could go in the next few picks, you'd think, too. Has having the draft over 2 nights made it better or worse? I mean, I suppose that's subjective, Toby. I mean, more draft day is kind of fun, but it is kind of dragged out, though. More content to make, I don't mind that, but yeah, it is kind of long and drawn out, but waking up to 2 draft days is kind of fun too, or 3 really. 182 in the chat, guys. Thank you for being here. If you could hit like while you're here, that'd be great. Let's try and get it to 100. We got to 250 yesterday. Yeah, Rogue, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ollie Murphy does slide past your pick at this point. You could go Zach Ostelski yourselves, yeah. Showmaker's still there. Oh, Reggie Miller just dropped a donation. Thank you, Bella. Appreciate that. That's very kind. What a legend. Shout out, Reggie. 69 likes. Yeah, we're 4 short of 69 likes. Archie Roberts here could make sense. Archer Reid was taking the first pick, Jimmy, to West Coast. A video was called Academies and Father-Son Undermining the Draft. Oh yeah, that was recent. I started watching that video and I got busy. I was thinking of doing an Academies video soon. Mind you, Footy A to Z probably would smash that video. Geelong is in. Pick is in. With DeConing and O'Sullivan, key back not really on their radar, I would have thought. Jack Delene's probably another name people are sleeping on a little bit around this range. Kicks a lot of goals. Mano, is it? I just had a feeling, like, we knew Freo was interested, but I thought Geelong and Richmond, who have a tendency to go mature age, would take Sean Manor. You just know he's going to be a gun too. Good pick by Geelong, I reckon. After getting some tools for their future, they pick up a short-term, best 22 player. Not short-term, but I mean, like, more immediate. I think West Coast were also vaguely interested in Manor, but I'm kind of glad we don't have the temptation now, so we can just take a longer-term option. But he's a good player. So Collingwood on the board, yeah, Darcy. I think there's a real chance that they take Ollie Murphy, but at the moment he's sliding so much that I have no idea. Do you think Essendon would consider him too? Deer to Hawthorn, yeah, I think they've committed to taking him in their last pick. This is a good draft mix for Geelong. They've done well, I think, considering they started the draft without enough picks, really. I think they want to take 5 picks, I think. So they've gotten their extra pick. They've added a key forward and a ruckman and Sean Manor. I think they've done pretty well there. Do you think because Jed Walter is at Gold Coast, Ben King will leave? No, I don't think he'll leave because of Jed Walter. I mean, he's got a fair few years of development on Jed Walter. Any news on the waffle recruitment for Eagles? There was a bit of news, and I've kind of already forgotten. I know about Trey Rusco. I think I found a post on Big Footy about how many players had sort of just gone back to their previous clubs. No, I need to look into that for you. All right, Collingwood's pick is in. Hope you get who you want, Rogie, unless it's Zach Kostelski. Take Sean Maker. Taugiath, sorry. That's going to take some... good pick, I reckon. I know that Nightmare had Giath at their first pick. So no talls. It's funny, I got roasted for not picking talls for Collingwood in one of my recent Phantoms. From a guy that's on Big Footy too. And yet, here we are. They take 2 picks and there's no talls. How do you feel about no talls? I think the players you've picked are good, but from a balanced point of view. Toby reckons Eagles waffle most likely to win the spoon. I don't think so, actually. I think if the senior side has a good amount of availability without injuries, I think the waffle side will actually be pretty mature. I think we'll be okay. Lily reckons Tyler Welsh for number 1 pick next year. I don't think he's quite in the frame yet, but it'll probably be top 10. I think Finn O'Sullivan, Jagger Smith, Josh Smiley, Sid Draper, and Levi Ashcroft are the top 5. But there's a lot of time to go. George Stevens to the Bombers, says Ashley Taylor, or asking. Maybe. I think that's who I had in one of their picks in my day 2 mock draft. Rogie said our list managers said they'll be looking at medium tall types. Interesting. You think Zach Kostelski might go to Freo at 41 if he doesn't go to us. That being said, Freo said they were looking for front half players, like forwards. So if they go Cooper Simpson with their first pick and then Zach Kostelski with their second, after taking Jeremy Sharp and Oscar McDonald, doesn't make any sense. Tyler Welsh will go to the Crows, that's true. Yeah, he will. Perth is struggling just as bad as West Coast. Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm a Perth fan too. So, I've never enjoyed the waffle. Yeah, that's a fair point, Rogie. Collingwood have that ability to attract players. I don't think... I did hear they were the only club not to interview Harley Reid. I thought that was interesting. I mean, they had no real chance of getting him, but neither did, Sydney or the Brisbane Lions. Ollie to get to pick 46 at Hawthorn. It's possible at this point. Ollie Murphy still on the board, Pentos. Ooh, 88 likes, guys. Thank you. If we could get closer to 100, that'd be great. Victoria's hoping the next pick for her club is a tall. Do West Coast have any father sons in the future? No. For whatever reason, that is just some area we don't really deliver on. There is Bailey Banfield. Not the Fremantle Bailey Banfield, but Bailey Banfield, Drew Banfield's son, was eligible this year, but he won't get picked up. West Coast have traded up 1 pick, and we've traded our future third to move up 2 picks. Why? That's intriguing. I'm not sure I love that because there was at least 3 players I was keen on, but Ash is asking Bailey Banfield this year or next. I thought it was this year. Maybe it was next year. This is intriguing. So maybe we're worried about Zach Ostelski getting picked up. Maybe we want George Stevens. I really don't think George Stevens is the right sort of player for us, having got Reid, Jinby and Hewitt. Pick is in. Kind of annoying that we gave up our future third, but we'll see who this pick is. I don't know why we traded up. That's so weird.
Alright, so West Coast get this pick. They moved up a couple of places because Richmond just don't want their selection right now. They've traded it off twice, first to Fremantle and then again to West Coast. So they're dealing with these WA clubs.
Oh, unless it's a academy player.
Going on.
That would make sense.
Let's see what the Eagles
Could we go Lual or something?
the number 1 pick last night and took Harley, Reid, and then
If we take Lual on Lual,
another pick
then I can understand why we traded up from 40.
Reid tonight with their first pick of night 2. And the pick is
Clay Hall.
West Coast.
Cool.
The local theme.
Not mad about it.
Phil Thunder.
A little strange we traded up. I can only imagine we thought Essendon and Richmond wanted Clay Hall. I don't know. I like Clay Hall. Not mad about the pick. I'm just a little surprised we traded up. So Zach Ostelski might get to, well, any of these clubs now. Yeah, the Bombers might have taken Clay Hall, as might have Richmond. So, yeah, well, we just talked about father-sons for the Eagles. His father, Derek Hall? Sounds weird now, I say it out loud. Played for West Coast and Geelong, but didn't play enough games to be a father-son. Yeah, Derek was good. Eli Wirapunda in 5 years. How good would that be if we got another... Imagine if we got another Wirapunda playing for us. That would be so special. I would love that. Another Wirra would be so cool. We don't have a pick 44 at the moment either. Just keep it for 5 years.
West Coast picks now, but 2 Reids and a Hall. So they've
2 Reids and a
done
Hall.
well with what they've managed to draft.
Good pick. I'm happy with it.
That last night, Riley, so important for them in their rebuild and getting his
Another midfielder. Again, still looking for some outside class. So Lawrence, I hope we take 5 picks tonight. Lawrence and Delarue is probably my ideal. Unless Zach Ostelski's still there. Will Zane Zach be the first ZZ initial player? That's a good question. I don't know. Oh, by the way, g'day Heath. Good to see you, mate. Hodgie's kids will play for Brisbane. That would be bizarre. That would be stupid. I actually don't like that. It's alright, we'll have the Judd twins in years to come. Do any of those play footy? I don't even know. Oh yeah, true. AANZZ bookends. That's a good point. Essendon is now on the clock. George Stevens an option for them, as is Ollie Murphy, as is Luam on Luau. I'm just gonna have a little look at Big Footy to see what everyone's saying. I like looking at the Eagles fans' reactions. Just got my dinner, some spag bowl. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm contemplating eating a sandwich in front of you. I've got a little meal deal in there. Yeah, I'm happy with Clay Hall. I'm a little bit annoyed that we don't have a future third now. But it's not the end of the world. To get Clay Hall, good midfielder prospect, I think. Good, real balanced midfielder. So, not bad. Noah Carosella. Yeah, God, a lot of these players I now remember. Like their dad's Blake Carosella. Carosella also played for Collingwood.
And then Fremantle, and then Brisbane, and
He did, didn't he? Blake Carousel.
The second round of this year's draft. Obviously, as Cal said earlier tonight, we're expecting probably a total of around 55 to 60 selections all up after having 29 on night one of the draft. So we wait and see. And Essendon
Is that a stick to? I know. I'm trying to get the bloody the shot out of. Get the mic out of the shot. Yeah, I dropped this microphone and it like went into a million pieces. So I taped it up. It still works perfectly fine. Probably. Pig is in. I'm just gonna. George Stevens maybe. Luam on Luau. Ollie Murphy. Those are the three. Which means it'll be neither of them. Luam on Luau, yeah. I had a feeling that might be the case. Good pick. ER16 didn't play Hall Dad play for the Eagles. He did. So he's not a father-son selection because he didn't play enough games. But he was certainly an Eagles and a Geelong player. Dogs just missed out on their NGA, unfortunately. St Kilda have Ashton and Jude Del Santo. That's cool. How old are they? They must be pretty young. Over 103 likes, guys. Thank you. All the likes help very much with the algorithm. Much appreciated. The Bulldogs are one team that have just really benefited from father-sons, hey? St Kilda have Hunter Hayes, yeah, again, must be pretty young. Who's on the board now? I was kind of just reading. There's a few salty Eagles fans online. We have almost half the 2018 Premiership team, but can't wait for Ollie Shuey. Oh, I love Ollie Shuey. Yes. That'd be sick. I feel like Luke's going to stay in Perth too. Well, obviously he works for the Eagles still. And his wife's from Perth. I really wish Richmond didn't trade away Coop Simpson because I go for Richmond and I know some people who are related to him. There you go. That would have been cool. Yeah, good player. Just get him in a couple of years when he requests a trade from Freo. Nah, they can no longer read Toby. Look at you. Look at you go. So when's the Eagles' next pick? I need to open the actual draft tracker. I don't have that open. It's not too far away. Probably within the next 6 or 7 picks. A Bartel father-son. God. Imagine we just have another generation of Ablets and... Ablett has a son, yeah? Maybe not. Yeah, he does, I think. Also, West Coast are not for another 10 picks, unfortunately. So, no key back. Well, that's alright. We got a key forward. We didn't go the whole draft without taking it tall, so... Clay Hall's a fairly good selection. Tigers could go ZZ here. Makes sense for them to grab a tall. Who have they got so far? It's just one pick, hey? Have Richmond picked yet? Or have they just trade back with us? That's all that's happened. Yeah, they've just traded back. I don't think they've picked yet. Their picks are now 40, 43, 55, 57. I don't know if they take all of those. Oh, that's right, Nash, of course. That's awful. Yeah, Archie Roberts still on the board. I did have him sliding to the 50s in one of my more recent mocks, and got a little criticism, but it was kind of a bit of a shot in the dark. But so far, not looking entirely stupid. So now we're at pick 40. All the NGAs can be matched. Who did Richmond go? Makes sense for them to go tall. Ari Schoenmaker's still on the board too. Could see him at Brisbane at 42. Potentially Richmond, but I think Zakostelski. Mind you, if they like Zakostelski, they might not have done that trade with us. Rogie says Roberts had some slide vibes. Yeah, that's what I was feeling as well. It was just plummeting down the rankings. I feel like he was in the top 15 at one point, I swear. At least on Toomey's rankings. Kane McAuliffe. There you go. Big body mid from South Australia. Solid pick there. It's all pretty even at this point. I feel like they like their powerful inside mids, Richmond. Like Jack Ross and Luke English, I think they drafted a few years ago. Two that come to mind. So Freo could easily take Zakostelski here. But again, they no forward yet. So yeah, Fremantle on the board here, then Brisbane with their second and final pick, Richmond then again, and then GWS with their third and final, I think. Interesting point, Heath. Yeah, I suppose wasted by the AFL. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I don't know how much they're getting paid. They're very good at what they do, and they've kind of found their own niche. So you'd think they're happy just talking about drafts because you feel like it's their thing. Hawks are going to have a shit ton. Mitchell, Crawford, Hodge maybe, Vandenberg, Lewis, Crode, Osborne, McAvoy, Roughhead. Wow. The Eagles, in terms of the most recent generation, I think Darling has a son. At least one. Barras have a son? Shuey, Nutnui. Yeah. Who else? There's more. He's talking about Harvey Thomas. I've literally never heard that name in my life. Lacrosse, Liam Ryan, Cripps, Darling, Maston, Shuey, Schofield, of course Schofield, McGovern have kids around the same time. I presume they're boys too, hey? That's funny, Heath. I feel like I would get on well with Toomey and Beveridge. I think like kindred spirits, just a little bit nerdy types. Toomey replaced Cleary as the main reporter behind Damien. Is that right? So he's been promoted and probably earns a good sum. Yeah, good for him. Ollie Murphy. So a key back. There we go. Didn't see that coming. That's a good slider. So I think Fremantle could be happy on value with Cooper Simpson and Ollie Murphy. They've done pretty well, I reckon. Fremantle have this knack of picking who I like. Not necessarily my favourite, but just like every time Freo picks, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. West Coast, by comparison, it can be a bit more like left field. Not saying one's better than the other. Although we have won 4 premierships. Nick Nat's son taps down to Ollie Shuey. Yeah, imagine Nick Nat's son is like a small forward. Sample says, really wanted Murphy for the Eagles. Would have been a good gov replacement. Hopefully get ZZ. Yeah, ZZ's... You'd think now ZZ's off Fremantle's radar. Maybe Zane slips the Swans. Yeah. I had him bolting to the Swans' first pick like a month ago. Because he was, it looked like he was bolting, and Sydney do tend to like pick bolters. Ollie Murphy plays like Nathan Murphy, they say. So that's said. Interesting. Let's see what Eagles fans are whinging about now.
Earlier tonight, they selected Logan Morris, who is a tall, strong marking forward, which
Who's up now? It's at Brisbane, then Richmond. Oh, Richmond could still go Zaka. The Bulldogs have 2 final picks. Hawthorn have another pick there. Heath Sheen says he picks bolters, love a WA boy and need key backs. Yeah, I agree with that mix. So they'll probably take a running defender. Where is Zach, Sydney's next pick anyway? Sydney's next pick is not until 59. So you got to get through West Coast. One more West Coast pick. I don't know if Gold Coast will take their picks. And then there's Richmond to consider. There's also Brisbane here, who could take a key back. Thoughts on Eagles taking O'Driscoll? I don't know if O'Driscoll gets drafted tonight. I could be wrong. Just having a look at City's pick, just in case I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, the next pick's 59, so that will come down a little bit. But yeah, he's still got to get through a few clubs yet. It's nice to add the Reid brothers. Who are Brisbane taking, guys? Sean Maker's a chance. Zach Kostelski's a chance. They say Willem Dersma's the best one. Wow. When's he eligible? Is it next year? Or the year after that? Not gonna lie, guys, I'm seriously considering getting my sandwich out. That is not a euphemism, by the way. Fucking hell. Gross. Oh, I've recently been told I laugh at my own jokes. That was actually inadvertent. I didn't mean that. Get my sandwich out for the boys. I reckon it gets to passes at the end of the 40s. Possibly, yeah. Luke Lloyd, Brisbane Lions. I think that's... No, it's not who I had. I think originally my second day mock I had Luke Lloyd, maybe to Fremantle. Brisbane taking Logan Morris. I think that's the way I had it. But at some point I've had Brisbane taking Luke Lloyd, so that makes sense. So they got 2 key forwards. 2 slightly undersized key forwards at that. That's an interesting mix. How tall is Dersma? Willem, that is. Zizi and Sanchez would be a nice finish to the West Coast draft. On balance, that would be a nice draft. Oh yeah, Cohen Sanchez is still there. I would probably go... You'd think he'd be a chance for Fremantle, Cohen Sanchez, although they're not for a while. I'd probably rather Cade Delarue or Will Lawrence. Or Joel Frazier's still there. Those are all players I'd prefer before Sanchez, to be honest. I used to work with Sanchez's brother. I used to be his boss. Jake Sanchez. We called him Dirty. Get my 6-inch out. Wow, that's like double average, Heath. I'm looking to see how much West Coast have improved by next year. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. At the very least, you wouldn't... Sorry, I was reading something. Hopefully just eliminate the worst losses. No 100-point losses is a good start. But I have a feeling. But I always have this feeling every year, and I usually get that wrong. There will be more Willems in the AFL than Heaths. Is that true? Is there just one Heath? Is it Heath McLean? Is it Heath McLean? Heath Chapman? Heath Chapman's the real one. Who's the one from Sydney? Is it Heath McLean? Sometimes when you say their first names in isolation, it is definitely not Heath McLean. Who's that one for Sydney? Is it Hugh McLean? Fuck. So someone will tell me in a second. Sometimes when you say their name in isolation, it becomes really hard to remember their first name. It's Hugh McLean, isn't it? Is it any of them? Hayden McLean, my God. I can't believe I butchered that so much. I can picture him in my brain. So it's just Heath Chapman. Then you got Willem Drew, Willem Dursma, potentially. Okay, I'm there now. Of course it's Hayden McLean. That was so weird. Heath McLean. Sounds like a character from Die Hard. No SCG floggings, that's true. We do have a GMHBA trip next year, but we've avoided the SCG. But I just still think we're going to get clapped at Adelaide Hills by Sydney anyway. Richmond on the board could take Zach Ostelsky. Fraser is also still there. I think he will get picked up tonight. I'm thinking of Heath Grundy or Heath Black or Heath Scotland or Heath Hocking. Good point. It is kind of a retired name now. No, I remembered all of those. I was thinking of Heath Black, but I was like, obviously he's not playing anymore. Yeah, a bit of a retired name now, I guess. How many Jessies are there? Hogan, Motlop. I can only think of those two, but I feel like there's more. Heath McLean's. And they'd be calling it McLean Teeth. That would be good. I obviously studied marketing. Jesse Sinclair. Who's Jesse Sinclair? I'm going to Google that. I remember Jess Sinclair from North Melbourne and Freo. Jesse Sinclair. AFL. No, it's just Jess Sinclair. He was only Jess, not Jesse. A couple of people saying Jesse Sinclair. Who the hell is Jesse Sinclair? Is there another Jesse Sinclair that I'm missing? I need to know, is there another Jesse Sinclair in the league, or are you thinking of Jess Sinclair, the North Melbourne retired player? Liam Fawcett, is it? It's not coming up on my screen yet. Brisbane to play Optus against the Eagles for the first time is bizarre. Like, I explained this to my English friend yesterday. I was like, you know how Optus Stadium has existed for 6 years? It will have been 6 years. Brisbane are coming to play the West Coast there for the first time. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with your league? Lad's not even ranked. Yeah, I knew the name Liam Fawcett. Couldn't have told you what position he played. So I won't lie about that one. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to grab my sandwich. And not in a sexual way. I'll be right back. We lost 5 viewers after I said I was going to go grab my sandwich. Dylan somewhere says, I'm in Scotland and woke up too late to see what you thought on Freo's pick. I think Freo have done well. They haven't picked who they said they would pick. They said they would pick like forwards, and they've picked Cooper Simpson, a good midfielder with some upside. Bit small. Probably needs to find more of the ball, but he's got a good highlights package. And then Ollie Murphy is a sliding key defender. Vic Metro's MVP. And a good player, but didn't test very well, so he slid. The thing is just Fremantle didn't really need another mid or a key defender, but yeah. But these late picks, though, it's hard to be too critical, I think. So GWS have taken Goddard and Leake. Will they go tall? I think a tall makes sense for him here. Don't take Zach Ostelsky, you dogs. KPD is a key position defender. Oh yeah, I'm excited for this sandwich. This is the best meal deal you can get. Tesco meal deals in the UK. The best meal deals. However, if you want some baked goods like a croissant in the morning, Sainsbury's does it better. Just some unneeded knowledge for you. Okay, so that was the last pick of the second round, was it? Oh, Joe Fonte. I thought he was a West Coast NGA for some reason. Who's he play for? Claremont? Interesting pick. No disrespect to the kid. Congrats on getting drafted. I was kind of glad West Coast didn't take him. He is a little bit of a butcher. This sandwich is a sausage, egg, and bacon. Little number. And it is my favourite meal deal from Tesco. Costs about $6. £3. Sorry if I'm making you hungry, guys. It's 9 a.m. I've had a coffee. I haven't had any brekkie. East Freo says Nyasha. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was... I thought he said Claremont. I thought it was Claremont. Let's find out. I'm picturing him... Yeah, he's a Claremont player. Yeah. Was he before at East Freo, though? Oh, East Fremantle Junior Football Club. Yeah, two different things. Yeah, Cooper Simpson missed a lot of football. Was it injury or illness? Did he get like glandular fever? I can't remember. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, soz about the... I'll try and chew away from the mic. That's good feedback. Audio pun. I just wrote a funny post on Big Footy. Someone says, my favourite part is when they read out the pick, a childhood dream just being realised, and then they cut to the shot of selectors and it's got a picture of Michael Scott looking dejected. Elaine, I am full-time at the moment. Yeah, that's got to change soon. What's the Kmart equivalent? It might be B&M. There's a few probably. The retail sector is just a little bit different here. It's so weird as well, like the rules on what people can sell. I used to work in retail, so I take interest in this. But it's like, you can go to a place called Greg's, right? Which is like, Jester's Pies, probably the equivalent. But they also sell clothing line. Like you can buy tracksuits, but the branding is the same. It's not like they're just like a subsidiary of a bigger company and they're just linked. It's like they actually just sell Greg's tracksuits with awful blue and gold. It's like Eagles blue and gold, but it's still obnoxious. So they sell like clothing. And you can go to a pharmacy, Boots, and you can pick up sandwiches. It's just so weird. Yeah, I'm just off to Greg's for a pie and a tracksuit. ASMR, sorry about that, guys. No, I don't, Rogie. I think Collingwood has taken the 2 picks, Darcy. Max is going over in Feb and need a cheap place to get winter clothes. That's a good question. B&M... Oh, this is another one. Tesco, which is like Coles, sell clothes as well. It's just like another aisle. Like, it's kind of weird. It's normal here, but yeah. So you can probably get winter clothes at like Tesco, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure though. I bought mine on ASOS. I just looked for some like sales. Rogue says they might take a third one. Primark. I've never set foot in a Primark before. I grew up in the Middle East and we had them there, I think, as well. But I've never actually set foot in one. So I couldn't tell you what it's like there. This is not Greg's, this is Tesco. Gregory Tesco. Apparently, yeah, Freo fans are melting. Apparently, well, Eagles fans, a couple of them are melting. I guess you just can't. You can't win. Amazing, Max. What Kentucky are you doing? And how long for? I did 2 this year.
So not Scott Pendlebury, but does he bring leadership traits? That's what I'm wondering.
How cold does it get where you are? It is currently 8 degrees, and it probably goes from like 10 max to like 5 min, like, or even 6 min. The range is not that big, which is handy so far. Like, it won't be that much colder at the middle of the night to the peak of day. There's not much difference there. I was bloody cold when I got out of bed this morning though. But 8 degrees, like, I'm kind of used to it now. The problem is though, when I go out, I already wear the maximum amount of winter clothing that I'm ever going to wear. Huge puffer jacket, jumper underneath. I've kind of maxed it out. So if it gets much colder than this, I'm going to have to adjust. Yeah, heatwave in Perth. I'm still got the Perth weather app, or the weather app linked to Perth, and I've been looking at the temperatures there, and it's absolutely stupid how hot it is. It's 37 right now. Wow, yeah, 38. But I mean, it's been like that since like September. I feel like I keep looking and it's like 35. European Trail, nice. Is that the one where I presume it goes either way. You can go through Amsterdam, which is the direction I went, Amsterdam to Munich, or you go back the other way, Paris to wherever. And I presume that one has like Italy in it, right? I just did an 11-day one first, and then I did a 11-day one in Greece too. So good. The Greece one was my preference. Yeah, they do drag Heath, I won't lie. I suppose, at the end of the day, though, it's important that the clubs get enough time to make their correct decision, I suppose. I'm happy with Clay Hall. He is another tall midfield. We got a big young midfield, hey? A very big one. But he's a little bit different to Ruben and Elijah and Harley. A little bit more of an accumulator. Bit of a contrast there. We just got a little break here in between rounds, by the way. That's what's happening. Amsterdam first. Nice. That's the same route I did. That was dope. Have you seen much of Europe before? This is becoming a true Europe podcast. Have you seen much of Europe before, Max, or is this your first foray?
Derek, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and best of
That's true, Heath. And it remains the most cost-effective way of bringing talent to your list. So it's very important.
time. The third round of this year's draft has started. Western Bulldogs have picked 40, and they have selected Joel
Sandwich has gone down nicely so far. Oh, Bulldogs got Fraser. Good pick. I was kind of hoping for him at 49. Dynamic sort of player. This could be Deer, or they might take a third pick and then take Deer. Unsure. I used to play footy ball. I played for Curtin University for a year, Wesley Curtin, as they're called, and then I played a year for Nungaran Football Club in the Central Wheatbelt League. Young mids are good. Yeah, Darth. We need a bit of everything. I wanted to err on the tall side because of the midfield strength next year and the fact that we've drafted a few mids now. So I am hoping for Zach Kostelski at our next pick. And then at our final pick, Delarue or Lawrence. Oh, I'm glad it was helpful, Max. Amazing. You're going to have fun. You're not going to sleep much, I'm telling you that. Mine was 11 days, so we were like getting up at 6 every day. 7. Yours? by the sounds of it, you'll get 2 days in each spot, which is going to be huge for you. How much would Roberts and Schoenmaker... how much would they be absolutely shitting themselves? Yeah, you got a feel for draftees. I remember Tyler Sonzi sliding like 10 picks, and then he cried when Richmond picked him. Because to be fair, I think like it was on to day 2, and all his mates had been drafted, like Connor McDonald, I think. Now Ash is going to South Africa in March for B-Day. Awesome. That's awesome, mate. I've never been to South Africa. I'm very curious. Whereabouts are you going in South Africa? Be exciting to see how a vastly different midfield feeds Oscar Allen. Yeah, as long as we just don't just get brutally dominated at the centre. That'd be a great start. Yeah, Rogie, I was kind of the same. I grew up overseas, so when I came back and I started playing footy at 20, I felt like I couldn't close the gap on the other kids that had been playing since they were 12. I played a bit of junior footy for the Eton Thunder Football Club. Well, it was actually Eton Boomers was their name in the Southwest Footy League, because I'm a Bunbury boy. And yeah, my team was called Thunder because it was only under 12s. I enjoyed that. Then I moved away. I'm going to do this to muffle my chewing. It is not because I farted. Will Lawrence, grandson of Graham Arthur, here for the Hawks? I hope not, because I like Will Lawrence, and I kind of want him to. I'm greedy, though, but it's a good shout. Joburg and Cape Town. Nice. I'm keen to go. Not anytime soon, but in my life sometime. Zayden reckons Eagles can push for the top 12 next year. Yeah, we'd have to have a very good injury run. Hawks' pick is in. Toby says, yeah, well, yeah, it is annoying, mate. And we were so blasted. We like get back at like 4 a.m. and get up at 6:30. But that's the necessity of it. And you kind of just build a fitness to it. You just get up. Gross heat. You kind of just get up and 2 hours sleep. Bodie Ryan to the Hawks. South Australian general defender. You kind of just get up and then like get used to having no sleep. You get so dumb though. And your sense of humour gets so stupid. Mine's already stupid. But like you just start laughing at the dumbest shit, and it's funny like talking to people trying to get through sentences and watching them try and finish sentences. It's funny as. Eton Boomers by name, Eton Boomers by lifestyle. Thanks, Dylan. Enjoy, mate. Go appreciate the sunshine here in the UK for the 5 hours that we have. Thanks, though. I appreciate that. Electric Lou says, yeah, we're going to have a forward line of giants. Yeah, Archer Reid probably won't feature for a good few years yet. But he does have he is different to what we've got. I actually don't even know about Sean Maker's 10-week suspension. Was it something about drinking on a training camp or something like that? I think he's got a couple of limitations to his game. He should get drafted for sure. And it could be to us. Ooh, Lachlan Smith, a ruckman. Not sure I even heard of him. Bodie Ryan is the cousin of Jacob Ryan. Interesting, I didn't know that. Thanks, Max. Yeah. I was actually bored last night. I was watching old True Footy live streams. Sometimes I just click on them because it's funny just watching the interactions with me and my friends, like when they're there. I don't watch the ones where I'm just in them. But like Callum, some of the sense of humour was so stupid. Archer compared to Rory Lobb. Yeah, I see that. Real tall, athletic one. Rory Lobb looked like being a star of the competition in like 2016. He looked like an absolute gem. He's got the tools. Okay, so North Melbourne here. They could go ZZ. And then it's us. Yeah, interesting. George Stevens, another side, a good point out, Rogue. I get it. The guy's 101 kilos. Like, he's got to lose like at least 8 or 9 kilos to play AFL. Seriously. Oh, really, Rogue? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'd do that as well. I look at how I reacted. I wasn't happy when we drafted Chesser, and I was stoked when we drafted Hewitt. It's funny to see the reaction in real time. Kansas 5 reckons we should pick George Stevens. We just got Clay Hall. I don't think so. I don't think he's a good pick for us. G'day, Sammy G. In the sandwich, Glory Boy, is egg, sausage, and bacon. Good choice, eh? Archie Roberts could get picked by North. Actually, this is where I had him sliding to, I think. So this would be funny. He could go to us too. Favourite first year play for the Eagles this year? If I had to pick one, Hewitt. And then Marek and then Long, but it's so narrow. And I do like Jimby too, obviously. It's just... I like them all. Doesn't Ollie Wines weigh 100 kilos? Does he? Or is he like 96? I mean... Sure. I guess. Oh, Port Adelaide's traded. Yeah, Ryan Marek lost like... Didn't Ryan Marek lose like 20 kilos? He's a skinny guy now. So Port trade in to get ahead of... Not necessarily to get ahead of West Coast, but they want to pick now. Is this their first pick? It is, eh? Like, they didn't do a trade earlier, did they? No. The Hawks just drafted Bodie Ryan from South Australia, Rory. Go on, take George Stevens or Archie Roberts.
Last night on night 1 of the 2023 AFL Draft, the North Melbourne is done and dusted, but we will wait to hear official word of that. And we wait to see what Port Adelaide have done here.
Yes, in Chester flashbacks. I don't think Port specifically traded in ahead of us. I think they just were looking for someone who was willing to trade in North Melbourne and probably done with the draft. They'll probably just where North Melbourne were a good candidate. They just push an asset into next year. I'll be surprised if this is necessarily to get ahead of us. So this could be anyone. But they might be looking and going, how the hell is Archie Roberts still there? I'll be sad if they do take Zach Kostelski, to be honest. Not looking at the chat yet. I want to see it. I want to see it be Zach Kostelski myself. Anastopoulos. Thomas Anas for short will be his name. Okay, West Coast back on the board. So Zizi's an option. I've talked about Lawrence and Delarue. Who else? Archie Roberts. Probably those four. I think that's four is enough. Another option is Tarkin O'Leary. I don't think we'll go George Stevens. I don't think that makes sense. Tarkin O'Leary potentially. And Cohen Sanchez or Jack Deline. Quite a few good names on the board, I reckon.
Can I say that Port Adelaide have tried to stitch me up because I've been freaking out about pronouncing that name incorrectly. So, Tom, if you are listening or any family members and I pronounced that wrong, I do apologise.
What do you want to see from Harley this year, like performance-wise? Just hold his spot in the 22 and add something as a forward mid. I'm just happy with flashes. Oh, pick is in. I'm going to look away from the chat. I'd just like to see him develop a lot in year one. So from what we see to game 1 to game 20, you'd like to see just improvements in output, a little bit of composure. I wouldn't mind playing him behind the ball, to be honest. West Coast beat Harvey Johnston. There you go. A forward mid. I haven't seen much of Harvey, to be honest. A little bit of a surprise there, though. I would have thought there were some options we would prefer. Zach Kostelski's a big slider. And Archie Roberts. So it's just so interesting. The Eagles draft board, you'd think Archie Roberts would be fairly high, but obviously it's below Harvey Johnston. I saw him previously listed as a forward mid. Deline, Sean Maker has slid, Archie Roberts. It's true. I need to research Harvey Johnston. I know virtually nothing about him. Eagles' next pick, for Naosha asking, is officially pick 66, but they're going to have a lot of clubs pass, so it doesn't really say yep. So yeah, Zach Kostelski, another bit of a slider. Do I reckon he'll have a comparable year to Dacos? No, I think if he played behind the ball as a running defender, he still doesn't have the attributes to do it like Dacos. He could be another Sheasel potentially. As a forward mid, he's going to find it harder. I don't think he's even a lock for the rising star, to be honest. Did you know Tim Kelly was ranked second in the comp for Clangers with 112? Taranto was first with 117. Not specifically. I'm not surprised by either of those players. The thing with Clangers, though, it can be a misleading stat. Like, I think Connor Rozee was also really high in Clangers. And I think Buddy Franklin led the league in Clangers the year he kicked over 100 goals. If he wasn't first, he was last. No, he was like first or second. Got nearly 200 in the chat, guys. Thank you very much. If you could hit a like on the stream to get us to 150, that'd be amazing. St Kilda's pick is in at pick 50. St Kilda traded for GWS's pick. That's right. I've literally never heard of Hugo Garcia in my life. But congratulations to him. That's cool. Midfielder, apparently. Emperor Zorg has a mate that played with ZZ and reckons it's surprising that he's looking like getting drafted. Fair enough. But, I mean, he did get BOG in the Colts Grand Final. And he tested really well. He's only 17 and he's 6'6" or 6'5". Jack Dow's calling for a defender for Brisbane. Yeah, well, if they get Shonmaker, here, that rounds out a pretty good draft of tools. Or Zach Stelsky. If anyone's wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to muffle the chewing so it doesn't go into the mic. Hoping for another Noah Long pick 58 type player. Yeah, well, maybe Harvey Johnston is that, because I didn't know too much about him. Clay Hall had a profile, as did Archer Reid to some extent. And Harley Reid was somewhat known. But he's a speculative one. Brisbane's pick is in. For some reason the pick is in, but it's held up for a while. When do you reckon Archie Roberts will get picked? Well, you guys might already have seen the Brisbane pick. It's not up for me, but I think Brisbane makes sense. It could be Hawthorn. It could be any number of clubs. I'd love to know why he slid. God damn it. Zach Kostelski goes to the Brisbane Lions. To be fair, though, we had 4 chances to pick him. Or 3. 3 chances. Elaine reckons that Harvey seems a beast based on some research he's done. Cool. I look forward to doing that after this stream. I would have liked a key back. Doesn't appear like we are going to take one now. I've now finished my sandwich, by the way, guys. Just for those wondering. Oh, true. Lewis, you were in here before saying, let's go, we got Harvey Johnston. I forgot about that. Congrats. Will Hawks take deal with one of these picks? I'd imagine so. I think they've more or less verbally committed to it, as opposed to non-verbally. They could go Robertson, then Deer, and then bow out. Traders in. Port Adelaide have traded back in. I didn't actually see what they traded last year, so they've just traded a future 4th into this year. I think that's a good move to get some players, to get some talent in. Because I'm a little worried about their longer term situation. Wait, don't they also not have a future first next year? I thought you couldn't trade any other pick if you'd already traded your future first. That's obviously changed. George Stevens still on the board. That's a good point, Jack. I don't know where he will go. Maybe Richmond. McCann said, g'day, Matt. Says, have faith in Bazo and Edwards. Yeah. But I'm also thinking McGovern's 32 next year. Roberts must have stuffed up his interviews, maybe. If the Eagles get Roberts, I will be happy. I'd be happy with Roberts, Lawrence, Delarue. Those are probably the 3 I'm looking for. Jack Deline still on the board too. This could go Port Adelaide. Jack Deline, South Australian boy. SA kid to Port says Slats. I can't see it yet if it's happened. I've already forgot who Port picked already. Oh, Anastopoulos. Oh, he's a small forward, isn't he? So they're not going to go Deline, I wouldn't have thought. O'Leary, good chance. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Welcome to True Footy Live.
Hello.
Bazo needs a proper pre-season. Lost his mum last year and was playing in a side that's getting smashed. I agree. I think he'll be fine. I like Bazo. Edwards has the potential. He's just been injured constantly. Another trade is in. Port Adelaide have traded again. Oh, sorry, Sydney. Oh no, hang on, I got confused. Port Adelaide's pick is in, but Hawks and Sydney have done a trade, so Sydney will take a pick here. And they could go Roberts. Toxicity is glad that they've traded in to get some talent. Rogue Wright says an appearance of Jesse's lover. They weren't supposed to know about us.
What happened?
They're just referencing you being my lover. Lachlan Charlson. Small forward or general forward? Slats is not happy the Hawks have traded their pick. Was it a bullying story, PK? That's the first time I've heard. I must admit, I just wasn't aware. 9 likes short of 150, guys. Thank you very much. We should have gotten Zoxtel. Yeah, well, we clearly just didn't rate him as high as Harvey Johnston and Clay Hall. So that's fair. You go with better talent, I can get my head around that. Yeah, Sean Maker and Roberts are big sliders. Big sliders. Sydney's pick is in. They could go Deline. Or Sean Maker. They didn't get a key back, did they? You can see the chat moving. I presume the pick's in. Patrick Snell. Okay. Key defender that I have not heard of. Big footy rumours floating around. Yeah, gotcha. So, is he a Brisbane Lions Academy player? So Gold Coast on the board now. Do they have another academy player or two they could just pick? I think that's what it is. Patrick Snell is such a Harry Potter name. Slat says Deline should have gone by now. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I think Richmond would be a good candidate. Who do you reckon will be the first team to pass? Richmond won't pass. The Gold Coast might take an academy player and then pass on their second pick. Surely they don't take 6 picks. The Bulldogs have taken 4 players now, so that they might pass. I don't think they're taking 5. And I don't know if Carlton will either. Oh, Gold Coast picked. Oh, the Gold Coast have passed, I see. Yeah, Darth, we are. Well and truly. Dizzy says if we snag Deline or Sanchez, you'll be very happy. I'm going to look at this Harvey Johnston fella. Kind of sounds like a porno name. Oh, that's funny, Rogue. I didn't notice that.
Two South Australian players because Liam Lawson was the other one, and then of course you mentioned Ben Miller being upgraded, so perhaps we
How long is
thought
left?
the night for Richmond was
Half an hour, 40 minutes, yeah.
to decide what they're doing and whether they're going to pass. And then Gold Coast, we assume with
Harvey Johnston is described as maybe the kid with the best step in the league. Zigzag through traffic, so I'm guessing he's an outside mid.
move on a little bit more quickly. So we've had
Best left foot at the Dragons.
players in total
Um,
selected, if my maths is correct.
half forward who hits the scoreboard as well. Cool.
29 players last night. We thought we'd get to the 55, 60.
Cool. I like the sound of that.
As you mentioned, Kalshadia still to come.
Thoughts on Reid apparently sleeping in his West Coast Guernsey. I reckon that's actually kind of gross and unsanitary. It's not like he played in it. I like it. Is that actually true? Sportsnut had Roberts going 28 and Sean Maker 32. Yeah. I think I had Sean Maker in the 20s as well.
Selecting father-son
I hear Harley Reid would like to play for Collingwood. Actually, Collingwood was the only team that didn't interview him, and he's a Geelong fan, so I doubt that. But maybe ask again in 3 years. Maybe. Richmond, do you think would take a selection here? A tough start to the season. You could have Simpson's head within 6 weeks. That's dark. Why have we got to go there? Draft day is meant to be fun.
Make sure you tune into afl.com.au and the AFL lineup. Of course, there's so much content still to come across our platform falls over the next couple of
That's funny, Chris. That's true. I feel like he's not going to get locked down. Doesn't strike. Well, yeah. 18-year-old superstar.
so make sure you tune into that with Emily May, a Hawthorn star, but also a star of the competition who is set to join Sarah Ollie and Sarah Black and Gemma Bastiani. Then we've got the AFLW United Knights of W Awards on Monday night. We'll have full coverage on our
I was referencing when he got asked what clubs he'd like to play for. Oh, good point. He did say that. Fair play. Yeah, the allure of playing at the Lexus Centre at the MCG, like 3 weeks out of the month, be very tempting.
What is going on here, Richmond?
Oh, Richmond have traded back 3 times,
For us sitting at this desk.
accumulating some picks for next year. That will actually hold them in good stead because of the amount of academy players next year. They could probably trade up for a good pick. So Essendon now have the next pick. Who's the best pick of the draft? I reckon the Crows trading up for Curtin. I mean, Daniel Curtin's a good player. It did cost him a future second, though. And they got... Who was their second pick? Charlie Edwards? Yeah, Charlie Edwards. So, yeah, maybe. But it's not like it didn't cost them. Essendon's pick is in. Yeah, culturally, that's a fair point, Rogie. It's like a bit like Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. Suddenly, people wanted to come play for Liverpool. Before that, we would just skim off the top of Stoke and Southampton. Archie Roberts joins Essendon. There we go. He's finally picked up. Slid about 30 picks. The big fat lump has been picked. Is he? I thought he's quite skinny. George Stevens is the big fat lump. Mind you, he doesn't actually have much body fat. He's actually just built like a 30-year-old man. Which there's nothing wrong with.
Why?
Really impressed how Brad Scott has bounced the Bombers back up the ladder. Wouldn't be shocked if they made finals the next few years. Yeah, to some extent, but don't forget they made finals in 21. Then bottom 4 in 22, I think. Were they bottom 4? They were around the mark. But they did improve. They beat Melbourne. George Stevens and Sean Maker, the biggest sliders left. Yes, that's right. I think Hawks go Lawrence, then Deer. Chris says, I can see Harley to long 50 times next year. That would be good. If he's picking out the smallest forward we have, that'd be good. So Richmond, having traded back 3 times, finally have a pick. Oh, Richmond passed. So they're just... Who do they end up with? Kane McAuliffe and Liam Fawcett. They only take 2 picks. So that's 2 years in a row Richmond just had 2 players. Steely Green, Caleb Smith, Kane McAuliffe, Liam Fawcett. They need a big draft next year. Big time. I rewatched the Eagles-Don games a lot. Really? I prefer the Bulldogs one where we actually won. Are the really bargain buys we've taken now? Clearly the clubs know something everyone else doesn't. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, Jack. Thoughts on the comparison between Noah Long and Mark Lacroix? I feel like Lacroix's much better aerially and more dangerous in front of goal. Not that Long's bad in front of goal. He's kicked a few bangers, but Lacroix just way more gifted in that way, I think. I think Lacroix's more of a true lead-up medium forward, and Long probably just more like a crafty half forward who just gets his team in a better position consistently. I don't think he's ever going to kick as many goals as Lacroix did. Let me know if you can hear the gentle urination of my roommate. Aiden O'Driscoll joins the Bulldogs. I didn't expect him to get picked tonight, and there you go. A small, quick mid from... where is he from? Claremont? I've probably forgotten where he's from. No, they're Perth Demons, aren't they? The O'Driscolls. Yeah, Perth, that's right. Longy a lot cleaner and mops up other players' messes. I mean, Lecker was pretty clean. That 2010 Lacroix that we saw was the best version of Lacroix. He was outstanding. Could you actually hear the urination that loud? I said it jokingly. I didn't think you could actually hear it that loudly. Yes. I said, can you hear the gentle urination? They were like, it's not gentle, very violent, actually. Welcome to your True Footy debut, buddy. Great stream content. I wish the Dockers grabbed him purely for the memes. Their fans are probably salty at that too. They're probably not happy about this draft result. Showmaker surely falls to West Coast. I'm interested to know what Port do with this pick as well. Yeah, Porter at 58. Yeah, Showmaker could get there at this point. At this point, maybe he just goes undrafted. West Coast have moved up to 62 now. We might not actually take that pick, but we have the list spot, so we could. Hawks might take their... Gross Rogie. I'm hoping they just take their father, son, and bow out and don't take someone I want us to take. Hawthorn's pick is in. Surely their father-son, Cal Shadir. Yeah, Cal Shadir. So that will be Hawthorn's last pick, you'd think. They're done for the day. 3 likes to get to 150, guys. If you haven't liked, if you could help me out with a like, that'd be muchos apreciados, as they say in Bangladesh. How big is Cal Shadir? 195. Freo have had bad picks, says Nate. I don't think they've had bad picks. They just didn't pick the players. They didn't pick on need. They've only taken the two, right? Ollie Murphy and Thingo. Colin Sanchez is still there if they do take a third pick. He is as yet undrafted. Their next pick is 62. West Coast is 61. I heard you, buddy. Will just wanted you guys to know that we've run out of toilet paper because he's been having 4 or 5 explosive bowel movements a day. Isn't it? Port Adelaide's third and final pick, you'd think.
But it's now time to get to Sarah Olive. I believe she has.
So Port Adelaide have had Anastopoulos and Charleston. Was it Charleston? Did they pick 2 small forwards? They did. Interesting. Obviously they lost Fantasia. Be funny to add a third one. Jack Delaney or Colin Sanchez. Rogie is hoping Collingwood take a third pick, not expecting it. I reckon we just go to the rookie draft. I expect that to be the case too.
Good bitch.
See you, buddy. There's a joke with the explosive bowel movements I'm not going to make. Interesting. I don't know what that would be. But I'll back your judgment in to not make the joke. Small forward and general mid-size forward. For Port Adelaide, they're 177 and 176, both forwards, if I'm not wrong. We need to give Clark a proper crack. Just put him inside, not as wingman. Yeah. I suppose we'll never know. It really wasn't a big show of faith in him when we had all those injuries and he was still playing like defensive winger. Flats really wants Delaney to be drafted. Yeah. You'd think rookie chance. Toxicity wants Patton. Yeah, I think Patton would make sense. Toby's all over my game there, yeah. Yeah, Sean, make a mind, I get picked at all. I'm glad we didn't take him with pick 1 today. Or pick 30. I guess Fremantle. Yeah, nice. Classic EBMs from Fremantle. William asked if West Coast will get another pick tonight. Yes, they can. And I think they should. They're in about 4 picks time, I think. Up to 160 likes. Thank you, guys. I'll see who's available. Got another tab open here. So, Jack Callanan. I don't think he's been drafted, has he? Philactides. Tarkin O'Leary is still there. George Stevens is still there, isn't he? I am not shocked. I just think too heavy. Just don't think you can be, with a couple of exceptions, you can be a really good full midfielder if you're that heavy. Colin Sanchez is still there. Will Brown. Matthew Carroll? He's still there. We could just go Oscar Hine. Wait, how many players have we got? We got 4, don't we? 2, 3, 4.
Simon, thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
we got one more selection.
Appreciate your time. Go and enjoy the rest of your night.
What do Freo do in their picks?
Ollie's done a terrific job out at Marvel Stadium.
Well, I think they just went best available. They generally go for a big board approach. Oh, Will Lawrence, damn. I was hoping he'd get the West Coast. Good pick, I think, there. Pick 57 for Port Adelaide. I think they should be pleased with that. At this late in the draft, George Stevens is worth a shout for sure. I don't think he suits West Coast needs, but we'll see. Kay Delarue is probably my preference. Bailey Van der Hoovel to the Cats here, calling it first. All good shout. Learned about him yesterday, but how many picks have the Cats taken now? 3? They might take 5 overall, so they won't pass here. Geelong have taken Connor O'Sullivan, Mitch Edwards, Sean Manor. So yeah, just a couple of late picks here.
So Geelong are on the clock at the moment. As we go back and take a look at what they've done so far in this year's draft, it all started with Connor O'Sullivan, a key defender who they took with their first pick. Then Mitch Edwards, of course.
Pick is in for Geelong.
Then Sean Manor, which is
Sean Maker, maybe.
stories of
They don't really need to keep back having taken O'Sullivan in the first round. They did lose Asava, but they got De Koning. Sean Maker is a chance here, you think, but Lorraine's grant for the rule, yeah. We did nominate Livingston as an NGA pick, but with Archer Reid at Johnny, I think they'll take him. I think they can rookie list him if he doesn't get drafted, which is likely. So I think it's worth taking him. Geelong do get George Stevens. He gets drafted. Good on him. That's a that's a good value selection, and he's a Geelong local, I think. He's built like a man. Like, he's not carrying much fat. It is muscle, but like, surely he could lose some weight. Just stop going to the gym. Tell you what, Sean Manor could be an interesting fantasy super coach pick. Great call. Yeah, he'll play early. Rats. Oh, so Collingwood have a pick before West Coast now. With GWS first. They might just take the academy player and leave. Stevens from Ballarat. There you go. Fair enough. Who are you hoping for the Eagles pick? I'm open-minded. I would like... Kay Delarue. And I'm running out of other players that I know. Tarkin O'Leary, potentially. Or some unknown project keyback. Pick is in for the Giants. Will it just be an academy player? Will Burgeel, Dewar, and Baker play this year? Burgeel, I think, will. I think he will play this year. He played pretty well in the waffle right before he did his hammy. Like, he was playing really well. I think he debuts. Dewar and Baker are a little bit more speculative, and it will depend on the injury situation. I think if we have good injury luck, then those two will struggle to get a game. But I think they performed pretty well for their expectations this year. 161 likes, guys. Can we get it up to 200 by the end of the stream? We did it yesterday. Harvey Thomas, that's their academy player. So GWS walk away with four draftees. Leake, Goddard, Harvey Thomas, and who did I get? Joseph Fonte, that's right, from WA. Interesting. So 2 running defenders, a small forward, and another small forward? Harvey Thomas? Small forward and back. So just some role players there for the Giants. No midfielders picked.
Alright, so Harvey Thomas makes his way officially to the GWS Giants. So that's 59 selections. We're around
59 selections. Yeah, we're probably going to get up to the last picks of the draft now. Collingwood pass. I feel like we'll take a pick here. And Fremantle could too.
That you thought might be a chance. I know we've spoken quite a bit about Ari Shawmaker tonight, unfortunately, the super boot potentially of the draft.
So Shawmaker's still not taken.
What else is left on the draft board?
Jack Delene's still there as well.
The Eagles have shown some interest in. He could be a possibility here. Maybe a similar type to Harvey Johnston though. So if they do take a pick, that's a
I'd be happy with Delene.
Kane Delarue though had some interest
Delarue is my preference.
in meeting forward midfielder. They've taken a pick or they've passed. Wait and see. Passed. Yeah, that's their draft time.
Eagles passed. Lame.
Most of the clubs might be done at this
Lame.
point. Wait to see what
We'll see. Geelong still might take a fifth. Fremantle might pass. Colin Sanchez undrafted too. I'm surprised that O'Driscoll got picked and Sanchez didn't. There's a couple of small forwards there for Fremantle.
I like that too. I think Simpson's a good player, and just through injury this year at a bad time, probably got through a couple more picks than he probably would have if he had played that full campaign.
Those old fossils must have fallen asleep. Yeah. Bit lame. That's alright. I just want the instant gratification. I'm sure they've made the right decision. We will have the first pick in the rookie draft. That's true, Toby. And therefore, not too much of a loss there. And it leaves us a mid-season rookie list spot as well. Fremantle got to pick us in. Colin Sanchez, surely. I think that if they do get a small forward with this pick, their fans will probably relax a little bit. I think their picks were good though. Delane to Fremantle. What about Thongmaker? Isn't he a basketballer? Yeah, Fremantle have done well out of this draft. He does kind of seem... You just see him being like that annoying Fremantle player. I obviously hate him now. There you go. So now I think we've run through a lot of the surprise non-draftees. I think a lot of the sliders have now been taking except Shawmaker. Good pick there. I think this could be the final pick of the draft. Pick 61. And Geelong are no guarantee to take it. They've taken 4.
Very true. Okay, while Cal is singing and making lame dad jokes, even though he ain't a dad yet. Anyway, let's just move on because let's get to Sarah Ollie at Marvel Stadium before we lose the plot here. Sarah, save me. I believe you have West Coast list manager Rowan O'Brien with you. I do enjoy
Ah,
it. Go ahead.
Rowan O'Brien is on the screen.
Rowan, what a 24 hours for your football club. Harvey Reid officially off to the West Coast Eagles as the number 1 pick. Just how impressed are you with Harvey's temperament and ability to handle all the attention? It's been a massive year for him.
Yeah, it has, and it's been very impressive. But the longer the year's gone on,
Bit of Ballantyne and Dylan, you reckon? Yeah,
things
those are rumours. Yeah, no, I think... He has it. He's a good goal scorer. I've heard the limitations on him are probably fitness and defensive pressure, but he hits the scoreboard for sure.
On stage, he's absolutely presenting him with the number 9.
I have no idea what Shawmaker's done, to be honest. I haven't researched that, so I'm not going to be able to speculate for you.
On this kid who's still 18, but
I know there was an incident involving like drinking at a camp or something like that.
great of your club.
I don't know anything about bullying or whatever it was. Imagine Deline becoming a better player than Ballantyne and Schultz. Oh, Oliver Wiltshire. Never heard of him.
he's a pretty unique package in a lot of ways. So we're really looking forward to what he can bring.
And you've got the need for Reid because Harley yesterday, Archer today. What can West Coast Eagles fans expect from him?
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise, really.
Sydney have passed. It's interesting to listen to O'Brien talk about how surprised he was that Archer Reid was available. It just goes to show that they just do not pay attention to like the media rankings at all. Which doesn't surprise you, but you'd think they'd have some awareness. Don't know. Geelong has had a nice list of picks. Yeah, I think Geelong have done well here. I actually think Fremantle have done well too.
Yeah, we're certainly strong, Cal. We had a crack with what we had in terms of our future first, and we tried hard to
Strawberry Burst, Darth Charger.
unfortunately, there was a lot of clubs trying to get in. I think it was
Sean Maker doesn't get drafted. I think it lends some credit to the negative rumours surrounding him.
with most clubs wanting to stay in
Yeah.
this draft, it became really hard. But
I don't know if I can speculate as such, but yeah. So, just going through, Brisbane took Morris, Lloyd and Zach Ostelski, 3 talls. Billy Wilson got taken today to Carlton. Collingwood picked up Taugiath, sorry. Essendon got 2 running defenders in Lawal and Roberts, who were both quite different to each other. Fremantle, I think, did well with their selections. Cooper Simpson, Ollie Murphy and Jack Deline is a pretty ideal result, to be honest. GWS, as usual, picked weird picks. I don't know anything about Wiltshire, but the first 4 picks for Geelong were good. O'Sullivan, Edwards, Manor, and Stevens. Gold Coast just added their 4 academy players, bowed out. Who did Hawthorn go? They got Bodie Ryan and Kalshadir. They're going to pass, surely. Melbourne obviously just took the 2 picks. North didn't add anything today. Port Adelaide traded in and went Anastopoulos, Charleston, and Lawrence. Lawrence, I think, is my favourite out of those 3. Richmond got McAuliffe and Fawcett. St Kilda added... Oh, they drafted Sean Maker. There you go. What a moment for him. Would have been a long day for him.
Just want to ask you about Ollie Wiltshire, someone that a lot of fans at St Kilda, we said they'd take Ari Schoenmaker as well. So great news for Ari to get picked up on a while.
Egg says, love what my Tigers have done this draft. We now have 2 seconds, 3 thirds, and 2 future 4. Is that right? Wow. To take advantage of other teams needing to collect points for father, son, and academy selections. It's a good point. I agree, Egg. I think that's a good strategy. They've done well there. Very well done in that sense, whilst not necessarily investing too much in this year's draft. But I suppose there's only so much they could have achieved in an even pool around that time. Yeah, Sean Maker taken by the Saints. He does have some weapons. Mental abuse is one of them. Nah, I'm just kidding. I should be more professional. Nah, congrats to him. Nate said he thought he would go to Sydney. Yeah. Evidently, there was just something there that made him slide. He does have a long kick on him.
So
169 likes. That is hot. Is that right, Tommy? There you go. Cade, we passed on our 5th and final pick, so we've just taken the 4 from this year's draft. Saints have had a decent draft on straight talent. Yeah, when you compare it to rankings. I don't know who Hugo Garcia is. They took Hasty a little bit early. Collard was a good result, as was Wilson. So they've added some real outside pace between Wilson, Collard, and then Hasty. And then Sean Maker, kind of like a tall halfback, undersized key forward. Colin Sanchez undrafted. That's a good point. Yeah, fair point, Jack. Name one random player at the end of the draft that might be a star. Let's have a look. I mean, it could be George Stevens. I could be wrong. Will Lawrence? Nah, probably not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Zach Ostelski's probably a chance. Can Eagles still get Sanchez? Well, they passed on their 5th pick, so I don't think so. I think that was our final pick anyway. We're not listed as having another pick. What a Draft, says AFL Talks. Yeah, they're all interesting. They're all good. Who is Ollie Wiltshire? I don't know. Just as general forward. That's all I know about him. Sean Maker did get picked. He got picked to the Saints at pick 62. Demeter, how do you think he'll go? Yeah, I mean, good value pick for Collingwood. Or maybe it was about right. I think he settles as a pressure forward. He's really fast. Oh, thanks, Carvey. Cheers, mate. Jesse, you should nominate for the draft next year. Thanks, mate. I am the same age as Tom Mitchell. And Adam Treloar. And Taylor Adams, I think. And I'm a year older than Lockie Whitfield. I'm 3 weeks older than Stephen Cornelio. So I think it's about time I retire, don't you reckon? What about the K. Delarue? Can't spell his name. Thought a team would need him. Yeah, he's still a rookie chance. I would like him in the rookie draft because I think he looks promising. Got some nice AFL traits. Will you do a video on tomorrow's draft? Yeah, so once I finish this stream, I'm going to do a little rap on today's draft. Not a rap that rhymes. Just, like spoken word poetry. And, and then I'm going out to Manchester tonight. I technically turn 30 at midnight. So tomorrow's my birthday. And I'm not even going to follow the draft. I'm not going to be awake. I think it's really early for me anyway. So I'm going to wake up to it and just to eventually do a video on it. So, yeah, we'll see. I can be an SSP signing for West Coast, yeah. God, I wouldn't last a second with those blokes. Surprised so many draft picks given smaller list sizes. Yeah, that's true. Mind you, it is still a short draft. 62 we're at, and this would probably be... I think that's Geelong done. I don't think there's going to be any more picks. I think that's the end of the draft. Yeah. But yeah, it is on the short end. I'll just wait for final confirmation that this is the end of the draft before I end the stream. Someone asked for a recap. I'm going to do a recap in the form of video at the end of this. We'll do that like I did yesterday. Colin Livingston will be picked up tomorrow. Yeah, I would have thought so. Or can we just automatically rookie him? Not sure about Oscar Hine-Baston though. Oh, thanks, Darth Jar Jar. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Geelong taking their sweet time. Yeah, surely this is a pass. They've taken 5 picks. I thought they only had 5 list spots. Ah, Eli. Yeah, just going into probably Northern Quarter, mate. Whereabouts did you live? So Geelong have made a selection. I thought they only had 5 list spots. Be nice to see Cohen Sanchez picked. No, did they take the 5 minutes to pass? No, they didn't. They took Lawson Humphreys. They have no idea who that is. But Geelong are good at picking late, generally speaking. No key backs interesting for West Coast. Yeah, I would have liked one, but maybe they just didn't think one presented itself at the right pick. So that just remains to be something we draft next year, and that's okay. That's not too bad. We got a tall, so I can't complain. Archer Reid has high potential. Can't wait to see the improved fitness within the Eagles. Yeah, well, we started to see that, and then they just started getting injured this year. Rogue, yeah, I think the idea is they can get an SSP if they have that list spot, and they can also leave it open for the mid-season draft, which I think is handy. Oh yeah, Oldham Athletic. Yeah, Northern Quarter's cool. I'm actually visiting a friend I met in Athens, Perth person, and yeah, we're gonna go have dinner. Used to live in Charlton. and the Northern Quarter. There you go. I don't know where Charlton is yet. Still learning. I'm in Macclesfield, so I don't know Manchester super well. I just know a few of the big places. Stalin says, heard we're getting on top of Harry Edwards' injuries now and could chase bust next year. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The Harry Edwards one, though, like, I know the groin was an issue, but, like, he also had a stupid injury where he just spoiled a ball and he got, like, a fracture and missed 6 weeks just from a routine spoil. Like, shit like that, it's hard to prepare for. Who is the Eagles going to pick in the rookie draft? I got no clue. I'm hoping Cade Delarue, but they might go, like, Reece Torrent. I don't even know if we'll have a live pick. I need to work that out because we might be taking Osterheim Bastion and Colin Livingston. True, SSP goes to the rookie list. True, but you can still get a mid-season pick that way though, can't you? Really wish West Coast drafted a defender. It has been a little while now. I mean, Burgill is a defender technically. We got Hoff and Bazzo the year before. Burgill last year, no defenders this year. Yeah, we're probably due for a variety of defenders. What is trenchfoot? I don't even know what trenchfoot is. Yoey's busted his ankle, he has to retire. Is it busted or did he just hurt it? I heard he hurt it. Did Port Adelaide take a pick there? It was miles away. Will Patton's another one that was undrafted. Assuming Essendon don't take this pick. They've taken 3 picks. They could take a 4th. I think they'll take 3. We could, but my thought was that you had to have the minimum seniors by the start of the season. Yeah, but it's flexible. So 36 is the max. So I think you can go 34 and more rookies. It used to be 38 and 36. I presume it's now 36 and 34. So no, you don't need to have a full list because West Coast is also one short. And Brisbane too. I think Brisbane's one short. I think they have 4 list spots. Trenchfoot is a skin tissue shit from moisture in your feet. Oh god. Trenchfoot is Bigfoot's cousin. Oh my god. That was kind of what I pictured when you said trenchfoot, because it implies like soldiers and being in trenches and what's likely to happen to your foot. Gross. Probably going to wrap up in a couple of minutes, guys, because I think this draft is just about done. Geelong took 2 of the last 3 picks. Yeah, Darth, hopefully that's just a precautionary thing. That would seriously suck if he busted his ankle. Best case scenario, we have a pretty thick midfield next year. Like Jinby, Hewitt, Reid, and Yeo potentially running through there. Tim Kelly's kind of a big boy, wins his contested balls now. Giggity. Clay Hall as well is kind of big. Heath reckons the Bombers do take a pick. They've taken 3. They're expected to take 3. They could take 4. No, they passed, I think. Oh, hang on. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like they passed. Disappointed for Will Patton that Port didn't grab him. Yeah. Still could get rookie listed. Yeah, cool. Bulldogs on the board now. What have the Bulldogs gotten so far? Oh, they're taking 5 picks. Surely they don't go again. They've done pretty well, though. They grabbed Sanders, Croft, 2 in the first round. They got Fraser at 45, O'Driscoll at 55, and then their ruck, Lockie Smith. That's true, Darth. I think I don't think Shu would be willing to uproot and move somewhere else. I think he's pretty settled with his family. So I was happy with it. Looks like that's the end of the draft, guys. So I'll probably wrap it up there and start working on some rap content. So this is a story all about how Jordan Groff bit on a pick 14. That's a clear sign I need to stop. All right. Thank you. Interesting. So I was just reading Rogue's comments. See your Phantom Drafts onto... There's this weird, annoying, like, love heart in front of your comments. I can't actually fully say what you said. No, it didn't help. Oh, yeah. Are you suggesting I try and predict every club's best 23? I think I would just piss people off. But it's some decent off-season content. Cheers for the stream, Jesse. Thank you, Rogue Riot. Thanks for being here both days as well. People saying bye. Thank you very much, guys. I will hang on for a second. Thank you, Victoria. See you, Angus. See you, PK. Ah, it's not a story the Jedi would tell you. All right, you really have me waiting there. Cool. All right, thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you on the other side for some post-draft content. You guys have been great. Heath's messing with me, maybe saying dogs take your pick. Really, I'd be surprised if they take 6 picks. I think the moment's kind of gone anyway. Is that legal? I will make it legal. Before I go, actually, that reminds me of a funny story. I was talking to a really hot girl once, and we were talking, like, gorgeous girl, intimidatingly hot. And she said something. Well, I said something in there about work, and she's like, "Is that legal?" And I swear to God, flex reaction. I just went, "I will make it legal." And I did the Palpatine snarl as well. And she was like, "What was that?" And I was like, I don't know. That was just a reflex. Oh, not my proudest moment. But anyway, good draft. Thank you, guys. It's been a real pleasure. And I shall see you probably not too far off this. I'm going to make content straight away. And then rookie draft stuff. And then I'll keep uploading throughout the rest of November, I think. So I'm not going to necessarily completely pull up stumps just yet. But we'll see how it goes. I'll suss the vibes. Once the views start dying, then I know I have to get a job. So, cool, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.